The high cost of waiting for someday. Procrastination in retirement isn't about being lazy. It's about being scared to live the life you've always said you wanted. Most people spend decades working and dreaming about freedom. And then when you retire, time starts to slowly slip by. Days into months, months into years, and someday I'll travel more. Someday I'll finally start to exercise again. Someday I'll figure out what's next. But here's the thing. Someday is sneaky. It sounds gentle, even responsible. But if we're honest, it's just another form of procrastination. And procrastination in retirement doesn't come from laziness. It comes from fear. Fear of change, fear of making the wrong move, fear of what happens when there's no boss, no structure, and no one telling you what's next. I coach a lot of high achievers, people who have worked hard, raised families, and hit their goals. Suddenly, all that freedom they dreamed about feels a little paralyzing. They say things like, I thought I would have gotten more done by now, or I just need to figure out what I want to do next. But time keeps rolling. Days blur into weeks, weeks into months, and the dream starts to fade into the background. Let me tell you about a guy I worked with. His name is Larry, mid-60s, 40 years working in the mortgage industry. The kind of guy who made all the incentives and did everything right. He used to say, when I retire, that's when life really starts. He had notebooks full of plans, road trips, fishing with his brother, learning to play guitar again. But after retirement, the notebook stayed in the drawer. He told himself he just needed to rest. He'll start next spring. Then he'll start next year. You already know where this is going. A routine medical checkup. Something showed up in his test results. It scared him into action. He mobilized his resources and got back on the right track through some medication, diet, and exercise routines. When we last spoke, he said he was angry at himself that he didn't follow through with his health plans until something showed up. In retirement, time humbles us because that's the cost of waiting for someday. It's not time, but it's life. 3 ways someday shows up. First, not trying. You tell yourself you're figuring things out, but you're really avoiding discomfort. You fill your days with errands, screens, and staying busy. It feels productive, but it's really protective. Your brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. It thinks comfort equals safety. And when you start dreaming about change, learning something new, traveling alone, starting that new project, your brain quietly says, let's not do that. Because your brain's primitive. New feels dangerous. It's the same part of your wiring that once helped you survive. But now it keeps you surviving instead of thriving. So you stay busy. You check one more thing off the list. You stay safe. But safe starts to feel really, really small. If this hits home with you and you're realizing you're waiting for someday, that's exactly what I help my clients work with in my one-on-one coaching. Together we look at what's holding you back, the thoughts creating that hesitation, and the feelings that keep you from taking that next step. Because once you understand the patterns, you can change it. And once you change it, you stop waiting and you start living again. You can learn more or schedule a free consultation call at my website, margaretzickcoaching.com. Second, waiting for perfect. I'll start when I lose weight, or when my spouse retires, or when I have more time. Sound familiar? That's your brain trying to protect you from failure and discomfort again. It's avoiding the pain of uncertainty by waiting for perfect conditions. But perfect never comes. The brain loves predictability, not possibility. It tells you, once everything lines up, then this will be easy. But here's the truth. Readiness doesn't come first. It's built through doing. You act your way into confidence. You practice your way into comfort. You can't think your way into either one. Third, forgetting you're still becoming. This is one that breaks my heart the most. It happens when you start believing you're still growing. You tell yourself, the season's over. I've done my part. I've worked so hard. I don't want to do anything. And your brain starts loving the familiar and agrees. It would rather you replay old stories than rewrite new ones, because replaying ones are easy. Creating is uncertain, But uncertainty isn't danger, it's aliveness. Every time you step towards something new, you wake up the parts of your brain that haven't been used in years. Learning, curiosity, joy, fun. Those are also rewards your brain craves. It's just if you give it a little taste again. You're not done. You're still growing, still evolving. You're allowing yourself to surprise yourself again. And when you do, your brain learns a new truth, that the unknown isn't painful. It's where purpose lives. Let's coach on this. Let's imagine you're sitting with me and we're doing a coaching call. This is what I'd ask you. What are the things you have been keeping for someday? And what are you afraid will happen if you start now? Go ahead, say it out loud, like you and I are coaching. Is it starting to walk 3 times a week? Seeing your grandkids more? Breaking out those acrylic paints and a canvas again in your back shed? Maybe it's fear of failure, or maybe of looking foolish, or maybe it's the deep fear that it's too late. But here's the truth. The moment you take one small step, one messy step, because it never works out how you want it, you prove to yourself it isn't. Try this. Grab a notebook. Write the words, "My someday dream is." Fill in the blank. Then underneath it, write one small thing I could do this week to move towards it. Don't overthink it. Take 10 minutes. Walk today. Pick up the phone and call your kids. Grab a small container of water and head to the art shed. That's how you start. Not with a perfect plan, with a single action that tells your brain, I'm actually doing it. So here's my question to leave you with. What if someday is now? Because someday isn't on the calendar, but today. Today is still today. Get after it and do something that makes you feel alive. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the next one here. I'll see you next time on the Retire and Renew channel.